There's so many more studies about attention deficit because of social media. It's a huge problem that everyone all over the world are struggling with this. It just sucks you in. And remember, they want you to be sucked in because the more sucked in you are, the more money there. It's really worrying. We must find that balance with our children. What we see online can be very alluring, can be very entertaining. You can be on there for an hour and you think you've been on there for 5 minutes. I think obviously with young people, they do need some barriers, some restrictions to what they can do, what they can see and how long they do that. But what is good for us as parents is to encourage more social engagement. So everything is about social media. But obviously, if you've had a lot of in-person social engagement, maybe with their cousins or, and that is brought more to the attention, that can be also very helpful. And yes, sometimes you just need to keep them off devices because they'll just be glued to it and won't think of anything else for that day, So it's difficult. I really think it is. Parents do struggle, and they tell me all the time that they struggle with this. They struggle with the discipline, but you can set fairly rigid barriers like, you can have your phone on for 2 hours. That is it. You're not going to have that anymore. Find other interests to do so. And yeah, as they get a bit older, you've got to give them some autonomy, because that is learning, isn't it? How to deal with autonomy and how to be responsible. It's a huge problem that everyone all over the world, parents, are struggling with this from very young. I always say, try and, make sure they have good social interaction. That's so important. That they're not just on that phone. They've also got a life with friends. They're out. That isn't phone-based. They're doing other activities, but it's sort of keeping that family time as well. Let's talk, let's put down the devices, let's, not have them on when we're eating, etc., that we have a family meal together, we talk, because that's what's the thing that's now often missing, is that more personal, more level of communication. Because they're off on this device, then we don't get so much time to communicate before them. So it's very important to put that back. And right, today we're all going to put our phones, because we have them as parents as well. We're all going to leave our phones in the glove box in the car, and we're going to go for a walk, etc., etc. And I think with children as well, you need to take them away sometimes to allow them to feel that distance between. Because we know as adults, everything's on it, isn't it? Our banking, our thing. And then suddenly, if we've left it somewhere, we feel a bit insecure for a while, my bank accounts are on there, etc., etc. But we do need time as adults away from that as well. It can be, it just sucks you in. And remember, they want you to be sucked in because the more sucked in you are, the more money they earn. So it's all about money. There's so many more studies about attention deficit because of, social media, etc. It's really worrying. We must find that balance with our children, that they have that social interaction with friends of their own age, with the family structure that is above them. Obviously, at school's banning a lot of phones now, isn't it? Or you had to put them in your locker, which I think is a very good thing. So they do have that. But restricting when they back on them for a while. Try and find that balance with them. See how well they socially interact. That's what we don't want to lose, because they sort of disappear up this sort of social channel, so to speak. And then their ability to interact with others, etc., becomes more of a strain. And I've seen that a lot, thinking, well, this kid hasn't got any social skills, And one thing we really need them to have as they grow old. But social media aside, we need them to have social skills. They're interacting with their siblings, with their cousins, they have that because they're going to need that when they go out in the big bad world. So that's really, really important. But don't feel it's bad to restrict. They have to learn limitations. And that's one thing children obviously struggle with, knowing when to stop, how much is enough. So we have to take that part of responsibility from them and say, right, that's enough on your tablet. You need to play a game or do something, take them away from those electronic devices. Because from now, our modern world, they're always going to be there. Everything we do is on them, isn't it? As an adult, when you think, you're actually carrying like a mini computer in your pocket that will do everything for you, etc. So again, it's finding that balance with your child and making sure that they're not becoming reclusive because of this, and most importantly, that they have social skills.